going on, all my movie-loving badasses? That's right, it's your boy Preston, Phat Samurai Guy, back again with another Movie Dojo episode. We have a wonderful, amazing, exciting movie to talk about today. It's my favorite action movie of the year, but before we get to that, he is returned writer, director, that's right, Billy Hanson is back. Welcome back, brother.
Thank you very much. I am excited to talk about this one.
I mean, how do you live normally every day being so handsome and you're just swatting the females off? Or you're like, what are you doing? You have to wear a protective bubble?
I'm so glad you asked me this. I'm so glad you asked me.
This is the important question
about this. Like, because then I have to tell them, listen, I'm a very successful writer director.
Yes.
And it's just a difficult conversation every time. I don't know.
You give them movie trivia and they all fail. Yeah. And then they just give up and they're like, all right, this guy, I can't do it. But yeah, man, welcome back. It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, but we got to get you back on some future yin yang movie reviews and some verses. But it was cool. We had to do this one. It was almost destiny.
Yeah.
It was almost like it was the gods above, the action gods. Like they put everything in order.
Yeah,
because it's kind of crazy, and we're going to talk about it in a second. I'll let you guys, everybody, watch it right now. Why it feels like it's destiny. But before we do that, your boy Samurai Guy, I got to give the shout out. All right, huge shout out to all our wonderful, amazing channel members and lovely patrons. We're gonna do the roll call shout out. Shout out to Reddit Clips Films, Adam Evans, Lone Wolf Roden, Attila the Hun, MKF30, Heather Strum, Tyler Strum, Jay Skull, Gilbert Berger, Jake Hall, Dame Mo, the Entertainment Headquarters, John Bonnie, the Sexy Sumo. Oh, we're still going. CJ, Christian Mullins. That's right. Bo McCubbins, Bela Sebastian. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. That's right. And all of you new badasses that are watching right now, if you want exclusive content, early access to movie reviews and all that kind of good stuff, hey, check out the join button above and check it out and see if it's something you're interested in. But now it is time. That's right. So it's going to be destiny. And this is why I mentioned that earlier, everybody watching, because I interviewed you for your wonderful psychological horror movie, Bone Cold. What? Oh, what's going on May 15th, son?
Yeah, so we're doing a screening to benefit veterans up in Maine, May 15th in Bangor, Maine. It's going to be awesome. Like we're partnering with Don Cookson, who is a radio DJ on Stephen King's radio station up there, and he's going to host a Q&A afterward. It's going to be awesome because we're screening the movie, and then we're doing a Q&A with me and a guy named Dr. David Prescott, who is a psychiatrist, and he's going to be there to talk about PTSD and like PTSD in the modern military and how their lives are affected by it and that kind of thing, which the movie really deals a lot with. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation, and all the benefits go to the Maine Veterans Project, which is a great organization that helps a bunch of veterans in Maine with kind of whatever they need, which is really cool.
Nice, man. Well done. Congratulations to getting the movie out there. And if you guys have not seen it, make sure you guys check it out. Buy it on Blu-ray from Wogo USA. You can watch it for free on Tubi. Any other places you can watch it?
Around the world right now. It's in Australia. It's in the UK. It's I think it's coming to Japan soon.
Ooh.
We're going to be doing Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So yeah, it's getting around. And check on airplanes too. It's going on airplanes pretty soon.
What? Yeah. That's wild.
Really, you're going to be able to watch some wild shit while you're like on the plane.
No one's going to be sleeping good that night.
No. You're going to have to hide your screens a little bit from the people around you.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. And, it was the first time I met you, interviewed you about the movie. And then we just, as you do here on the channel, we just started talking about all kinds of movies. We started segueing away from your movie. I had to bring us back to it at some point. But you brought up a film called The Wages of Fear. Mm-hmm. And you're so good at pronouncing the name, I will always butcher it. Directed by
Henri-Georges Clouzot, or H.G. Clouzot, as I think he went sometimes.
I'm gonna call him HG.
Yeah, HG. That's a
That's
solid name for him. But he's an incredible director. He was like
Yeah.
French New Wave, but he's the French Hitchcock basically, because all of his stuff is so incredibly suspenseful and dark
right.
and just tense. And that
Yeah.
movie, that The Wages of Fear, is my answer for my favorite film of all time. Like, I don't really I'm not much of a ranking movies kind of guy, but like
Right.
whenever people ask me what's your favorite, that's the one.
That's the number one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my man loves him some suspense, baby.
I do.
And that was our very next video.
Mhm.
You came on back to the channel, which was cool, and we both because I've never seen it, because I only knew about the amazing Friedkin movie Sorcerer, which blew me away. Me and my wife, Lady Fat Blood, blew us both away when we saw Sorcerer. We were like, oh my god. And I did not know this predated that.
Yeah.
And so, going back that far in the early 50s, there was a chance that, well, maybe it was a little dated. It was good, but it's not as good as the Sorcerer. Man, I may love this just as much as the Sorcerer, or maybe a little bit more. Like, this really blew me away.
Yeah, it's a
Really
pretty
blew me
astounding
away.
movie. Yeah, it's just like
No action. It's not that type of movie.
yeah, it's all just they set up this thing and it is just tense. Once it really kicks off, it's just never lets up, and then it escalates and escalates and escalates.
Yeah,
and it's amazing. Yeah, I'm in awe of that movie still. I remember I saw it in film school for the first time, and our teacher showed us this movie at the end of it, like a 12-hour day. And he's like, all right, we're going to watch this 2.5-hour French movie from the 50s. And I was like, there's no way that I'm staying awake for this. But I remember my heart was pounding in my chest because it's so tense.
Yes.
And at any point, everyone could just die. And they come very close all the time.
Yeah. Those are some of the best movies when you don't know. It's not as predictable.
Yeah.
But it really enjoyed that. Blew me away. And then not too long after that, time does fly quickly. It may have been a while, but all of a sudden I come across this Netflix trailer for a reimagining reboot in a way, of the original classic, The Wages of Fear, and it's all action and explosions. And I'm like, I started laughing when I saw it. I was like, oh. I have to call Billy.
Yeah.
So I messaged you immediately, like, dude, I think I forwarded you the trailer. I was like, dude, are you seeing this?
Yeah.
Are you seeing this right now? Like, someone decided to take the concept of the original classic or Sorcerer, but the original classic, and let's just make an action Michael Bay movie out of it. That was the kind of what the trailer made it look like, the one I saw. And I was like, this could be utter trash. Will it be good trash? That, we'll get to that. But I changed my tune a little bit before we actually got down and watched the movie. Finally, I changed my tune a little bit because once I saw who was in this, I was like, "Oh wait, hold on, this might be legit."
Yeah,
and it stars. Hold on, let me pull them up here. Hold on, lagging here. It stars Alban Lenoir, who plays Alex.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him in the cast. I was like, oh, wait a minute. This might actually be legit. Because, Billy, if you have not seen them, I highly recommend you check them out. But check out his Lost Bullet films. Check these out, dude. Because he's a stuntman. That's his whole background. Martial arts. He's done everything. And now he's getting more leading man roles. And so I did not know about his, previous works. And shout out to Rick Myers, suggested the Lost Bullet movies. And I was like, what is that? I didn't even know about him. So I watched the first one. And I was like, keeping in mind, I did not know he was a stuntman guy. I just like, let me just check out this movie called Lost Bullet. And there's a scene in that movie where he's literally driving a car that's on fire. And I'm like, it's on fire with him in it. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm sold.
This is insane.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
You're going to love it, Billy, because it's straight throwback, real car stunts.
Oh, nice.
No ridiculous, overdone CGI that takes you out of the movie. Hint.
Tipping your hand a little bit there.
Hint. Where am I going with this, Billy?
I think I know you're going right to the desert.
But yeah, real legitimate car stunts, and each movie has one fight scene. It's not like a nonstop action thrill ride type movies, but they're still two of the best action movies ever.
That's cool.
Uh, each movie has one fight scene, but you're gonna remember that one fight scene because the way he films it almost like it looks like it's one take, but it's brutal, grounded, sloppy, but good sloppy in a
Yeah.
way to where it feels realistic. I'm telling you, Billy, check out the Lost Bullet films.
I'm
So once
definitely going to now.
yeah, once I saw him in this movie, I'm like, oh wait, hold on, let me not, you know, make fun of the movie too much. This might be actually legit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we finally got around to watching the greatest action film of all time, the best action movie of 2024 already. All right, already. Let's get into it. The Wages of Fear. Billy, could you read the plot synopsis for everybody watching?
Oh, I sure can.
I don't know. I don't know. I was holding a straight face that whole time. That's pretty good.
That was impressive, actually. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
All right. So, in order to prevent a deadly explosion, an illicit crack team has 24 hours to drive 2 truckloads of nitroglycerin across a desert laden with danger.
Yeah, sure. All right. That's what the plot synopsis says. Okay.
Yeah.
Directed by,
Julian Leclerc?
I'm going to click on him.
Yeah, I don't actually know.
Oh, this person, and just to make sure that this person did not direct the Lost Bullet movies.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't really see anything. He did The Bouncer with Van Damme. I'm fired. I still haven't seen that yet. But anyway, I've had The Bouncer in my queue forever. I just haven't watched it yet. I'll get to it and I'll do a review for you guys in the future. But yeah, so let's get back to this movie here. So, how long did it take you watching the film? And how many minutes did it take you where you were like, what the fuck is happening?
I want to say the first fight scene. I think I was like, what? And like, I'll say too, after I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, they're taking it and making it like an action thriller. Like, that's not a terrible idea.
No.
Because it's the original movie is essentially 4 people have to drive 2 trucks filled with nitroglycerin across really rocky terrain. And so like that's the setup, that's the basic suspense of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they build on that the whole time. And so to make it an action thriller where there's like shootouts and explosions and fist fights and stuff, I'm like,
Right.
okay, you could set that kind of movie with centered around 2 trucks filled with nitroglycerin, that kind of whatever. So about maybe 5 minutes into the movie, I'm watching like this. There's nothing to do with original source material, but who cares? Whatever. We're doing a new thing. That first fight scene, which you don't really know who anyone is. You don't know what the bad guys are doing. I don't know where it's set, actually, now that I'm really thinking about it. Like, it never really said where it was set, I don't think.
I believe it's set in Who Gives a Fuck.
Okay, I'm familiar with that country. The Middle East somewhere, where there is a city with conflict and rich French people who are in danger.
Sure.
That's it. But then there's this whole, they start talking about like this, the main character's a bodyguard, I think, protecting, his name is Fred for some reason. The main character's name is Fred that I don't understand. But so Fred is a bodyguard for a rich French guy who they're going to tell him like, hey, you need to get out of the city. It's dangerous. It's too dangerous. And then the police show up and they pull guns and they start shooting people. And so the bodyguards start fist fighting everybody. And I have never had to shoot a fist fight. I imagine it's intensely difficult and
not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I will get there. If I do the next couple things I want to do, I'm really ready to do it. But I really hope I've got my low bar now. And I think even aside from the fact that it's such an extraneous, like, why are we doing fist fights? Because there aren't really any for the rest of the movie. I thought they were kind of the lamest, least impact fist fights I'd seen in a really long time.
No, it's I don't know what happened here.
Yeah.
I don't know who was the action designer and director and fight choreographer. I don't know. It may have been our boy from Lost Bullet. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, something was off. Some of the movement seemed fine,
Yeah.
but what also some of it, but it something felt really off. And the sound design, for some
Yeah.
reason, was these really quiet pitter patter. Can we stop at the fucking pitter patter?
Yeah.
Stop with the pattering that's pittering with your when somebody punches someone. I know in real life it doesn't sound like an explosion, like in a Rocky movie or the Indiana Jones punches.
Yeah.
But goddamn,
You do have to feel it in a
you
way.
gotta feel it. Just stop it. Stop it.
I
Stop
literally,
the
you know what I
pitter-patter.
thought while I was watching these fight scenes where it's just people like slowly moving arms out of the way and then pushing people down. It was like me having a slap fight with my toddler. Like it's like playing, and then I slowly put him down on the bed. You know, like it's
like let's get some impacts. Like
it was bizarre.
There was one part where the guy stepped on the guy. He like curb stomped, kind of reverse curb stomped
Yeah.
the guy, and that was cool. But I mean, other than that, just something like who is fighting? Why are they fighting? And then the fight itself, you could forgive some of that if the fight itself was amazing.
Right, right.
The only thing I remember was the guy he was guarding or went to go pick up. The gas company people were there. The oil company.
Right.
She was there to talk to him about some oil company business, but it's cut off. Their conversation's cut off. So I'm like, why was she there? What were they talking about? Then the cop that brings the goons in who shoots his client, they have this dialogue like, I can make you rich. And he goes, too late. Boom, shoots him in the head. What is happening?
No frame of reference for anything at all.
The blonde haired I guess the employer, the head employer of this oil company runs out, skedaddles, and then we have this little fight scene, and then our guy leaves, and I'm just like, okay, I'm all right. Let's just roll with it. All right, this is like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. This also, by the way, is not the first scene. It's like there's a scene right before it with completely different characters in the desert. They're driving through the desert, getting shot at, and then they go into the oil factory. I don't know what you call a refinery, I guess. I don't know what you call it.
Next to these butchers that live.
Yeah, the oil company place, the safe zone.
Sure.
And then they get there, and then you cut into this weird fight that has no frame of reference with no characters we've never met, completely different thing, and it's just so jarring. And then to make it even more jarring, they start doing time jumps back and forth, and it took. I had to go back and rewind and be like, "What is happening?" Right, because I can't follow the train of like what's going on. And then he like goes to his brother and his family, and somehow talks him into like, "Hey, my boss just got killed. But there's just a safe there. We can just go rob it right now."
Yeah.
Which is like, there was just a shootout there. There are going to be police officers. Like, what are you talking about that's wide open?
Like, I don't want to work for Amazon and drive trucks.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to go back to truck driving. Fuck,
I don't want to have a stable job. I want to go where the police are going to steal money from my dead boss.
Like, if there was a little bit more in, like if there's a little more of like an emergency, like they framed him for the murder. He needs to get money and get the heck out of Dodge or something.
Yeah.
And it was just
100%.
like, well, I just can't go back to doing, driving trucks. I'm like, okay. But don't forget, they're both horny for each other, these two characters.
Right.
And that's all that matters. That's what's important, right? You had to establish the horniness. The opening beginning sequence here with her driving back with a character that I my annoyance level went up to 11. I'll get to that a little bit later.
It's Clara.
Yes. No, her friend. I'll get to her friend a little
bit later.
Yes.
Right. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
So anyway, you have mercenaries and bandits on the outskirts, and they're always trying to rob people for supplies and stuff. Why they want to rob people for dynamite or explosions, or resources, I can understand a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like, why are you trying to rob these people? But anyway, they were probably They don't need a reason to rob. Robbers don't need a reason to rob. They just want to. They just
Bandits
want your
be
shit.
banditing.
They just
Yeah.
want your shit. Anyway,
Yeah.
so describe to me, Billy, the opening action sequence. What happened in the opening action sequence?
They are, let's see, they're driving through the desert and there are already people shooting at them, I believe, right?
Yes.
Or they see them creeping up and they start shooting right away.
Right.
And I'm mixing it in my head a little bit with the one later where he's leaning out of the car shooting, but they're not even shooting back, right?
There's a reason why you're mixing them up.
Because
it
it
looks
looks
same
exactly the
fucking
same.
goddamn action scene.
Yeah.
Happens like 4 goddamn times.
Yeah.
Throughout this movie, where a vehicle chases another vehicle and a guy in the back of that vehicle is shooting a gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we got, folks. Thanks for coming. Thanks for playing. That's it.
Copy. Yeah. Cut, paste, repeat 4 times.
It happened like 4 times. Oh, yeah. Another vehicle chasing with one guy in the back shooting a gun.
And they don't do anything that in that scene. And this is like repeated throughout the movie. They don't do anything in that scene to free themselves of that situation. They just get to their location and those guards take out the truck.
Yeah.
And so it just undercuts any like agency either of the characters has. It's like, oh, they just got there. Okay, done.
Next scene.
Yeah, that's not and so it's not actually like exciting at all.
No. But I think sometimes Samurai Guy nails what people look like sometimes. Sometimes I nail it. I may fail. Billy will let me know if I nailed it or I failed. All right. All right. So with the character of Fred, all right, I think I nailed it. You guys let me know in the comments. He looks like if Vin Diesel and Robert Carlyle had a baby. Did I nail it?
Yes, 100%. And you know who I saw is Guy Pearce.
Oh shit, that's a good one.
Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce with Tom Hardy.
Yes. That's
when he had his big reveal. I was like, oh my god, it's Vin Carlyle.
You know who I didn't see? A character named Fred. But that's who he is. A character named Fred. Fred.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I knew it was going to be fun to rip on this one. Okay.
we rip because we care.
That's true. That's true. I'll have some compliments too. I'll have a couple of compliments.
We have a very open mind. It's good to have an open mind,
Oh,
sometimes you're biased, but I mean sometimes it's I would say 80% of the time me and you have an open mind when it comes to genre.
For sure.
Jesus Christ, Billy had me review a romantic movie.
I did
not too long ago. Ugh. And then I got emotional. Oh my god! How embarrassing! How embarrassing was that? I think I still regret it, but it's okay.
Yeah,
it kind of fit the video. Which movie we're talking about? Well, you're gonna have to watch that Yin Yang video we're talking about right now. Anyway, back to the greatest action film of the year. So, because of he walks up to his brother and he goes, "Family." And then he's like, the brother's like, all right, I guess I'll go with you because of family. And I'll try to break into the safe. It goes wrong. The law shows up. And, Fred's just like, well, they're arresting my brother instead of me. Oops. And then explosion goes off. And the law that's there doesn't know there's a bomb there on the safe.
Yeah.
And they die because some cops did die, I believe. Or the cops died earlier, too.
Yeah, well, that was also super confusing because he's like, you killed cops, but we don't know that those new cops have died. So we think it's the first cops. We're like, well, those cops were bad guys, but the new cops were not bad guys. They were the good guys. And it's just like so unnecessarily convoluted.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming, you know what, you brought up a great point. I'm assuming it's the new cops because the wife, our boy's wife, Alex, was the one that mentioned that. Like after the fact. So our boy goes to prison. Props to, again, Albin here.
Yeah.
He really tried. He really tried in terms of an acting performance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when you see his fight scenes in Lost Bullet, the fights he had in prison were just average. You know,
Yeah,
maybe that's what they were going for. They didn't want anything fancy. You know,
which is interesting because if they're not going for something fancy, they're just cut them out of. You don't need them. They're just there's nothing to do with anything.
yeah,
Like we don't need to show that he can fight. We can you know you see what he's gonna do later. So it's so strange to me. It's so strange.
yeah. You're right because we didn't get any fisticuffs at the end.
Mm-mm.
So I guess I mean, they should have just had the warden torture him because he was labeled a cop killer. That's all you had to do.
100%.
I
Yeah.
mean, they threw him in the hole already. So, I mean, just do that instead of having him a
Yeah.
gauntlet, bootleg Fight Club, undisputed gauntlet.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, but credit to Albin. He's trying. But blonde lady from beginning that walked in and said words
Yep.
returns because we had an explosion happen by the villages with one of their oil rigs, I believe, right?
Yep.
And when you find out, you explain a lot better. Why is this bad, basically?
So the way that they described it was that it was connected underground to a storage of oil, I think, or something like that. And
Yeah.
if they leave the fire burning too long, it's going to ignite that underground tunnel and ignite the massive oil reserves under this little village, and it will kill
Right.
all 5,000 people.
Yeah.
And the
I think
only way to put it
yeah.
out is nitroglycerin.
Right. And I don't, they obviously don't give a fuck about the villagers. They just want to save their company.
Right.
So blonde lady that said things came in and was like, "Hey, how the fuck does she know?
I don't know.
How does she know Fred? How does she know Alex? She acts like she knows them."
Yeah, she's like aware of them for some reason. I think it's probably because of his association with early rich guy who died, but then like
I guess
I don't know, Madam
Jesus
Madam
Christ.
Oil.
The point is I'm like checking out.
Yeah.
We're like checking out, and we're still like maybe about 15 minutes in by now.
Yeah.
So anyway, Vin Carlisle says, "Yes, I will do it. I will drive the truck." That's kind of what got him to do it. Was she says, "Hey, I can get your brother out of prison. He's the bomb expert. Yeah, let's do it." And then that we basically have our movie. I did enjoy as soon as he got out of prison, he walked straight up to his brother and started trying to beat the shit out of him.
Oh yeah. I was like, yes, 100%. That's what you do. You pulled me into something. I got arrested. You got away.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch your face in.
I wish we would have had an actual fight, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of just a little. But it was nice to see the right hook there. I was like,
Yeah.
yes, you deserve it, Vin.
That stretch of the movie almost got me back to like him coming out of prison, because I was like, okay, now I see what we're doing. I see what we're setting up here, and like, all right, now I feel like I'm going on a journey. I feel like I can see ahead a little bit.
Let's reset.
Yeah,
it was all gobbledygook earlier.
Yeah,
let's reset. All right, let's try again.
Messy act one, whatever.
Right, and right after they tried again, they failed instantly because what was one of the more memorable things in the Wages of Fear when they did the test, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they tested just a little drop, and for those who have not seen the original, what happened when they were testing the drop?
So in the original one, it's amazing. He's describing the danger, how dangerous nitroglycerin is. They're setting up everything like, hey, this is it's volatile. You can't jostle it. A little bit of pressure will ignite it, and then if it ignites, everything goes up. So he has one little eyedropper, and he just drops one drop on the floor, and it's such a huge big concussion explosion in the room, and everyone stumbles back, and that's from one little drop. And you get the idea that a barrel full of this shit is incredibly dangerous,
which leads to the suspense.
Which the whole time, every shake of the barrel, that's what's at stake.
Right. And me and you were like, oh shit. Yeah. Like even the people that were in that room were like,
it's really intense, and it's really subtle and simple.
Yeah. And the people that volunteered for that were like, oh man, are we making the right decision doing this?
Yeah.
We need the money, and they do the same thing in this movie, and it's just like, oh, CGI fire, thanks.
I busted up laughing because I was watching it. My wife was not really watching it. She was sitting next to me, and I started laughing, and she's like, "What?" And I backed it up, and I was like, I'm not a scientist, but I can tell you a little bit of nitroglycerin does not explode into flames. Like, it's so
But
silly.
it was such a like wet fart.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there was no, okay, watch this. Boom. Boom. It was just like he just tossed it like this. He was like, eh. He tossed it like Luke Skywalker tossed a lightsaber in The Last Jedi.
Yes, yeah.
Or no, whatever. Yeah, Last Jedi. He just like,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah.
And then it was this little that's
Yeah.
it. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right. Let's reset again. Let's try again. So they load up the trucks.
Yeah.
They realize that, they have to take 2 trucks actually.
Yeah. And this is one of the things that, again, I was getting
So
a little excited about
Alex-
it because Alex was showing his expertise and saying, like,
right.
oh, you need 2 trucks. Like, you need to do this. You need to do this. Like, this is how, but that's where you're setting the stage for the suspense. You're putting the bomb under the table, so to speak. And like, you got to understand what they're going to be dealing with for the entire rest of the movie. But like you said, it's just the little like toss over the shoulder. Whatever. Here, watch this. Here, look at this CGI effect. It's not really there. But yeah, that's the thing that's so wild. Like, and you feel the lack of that for the entire movie.
Yeah. Nailed it. The lack of that. And again, like you were just saying, we thought we had something going here. He has to he volunteers to drive the other truck.
Mm-hmm.
So both brothers are driving the trucks. And we have our crew following them, and here's what it looks like inside the truck. So they have these things, as tight down as much as they could to kind of help. But there's no guarantee there. Again, supposedly leading to the suspense that we never got in the movie. But anyway, I'm like, all right, let's see where we're going here. So we're on our way to Mordor now. We're going to Mordor. And again, they run into some more bandits. Again, same fucking action sequence, car chasing with one guy in the back shooting.
Yep.
But they end up okay. You laughed at that scene earlier. I laughed at this.
Yeah.
So talk about this scene here.
Yeah, so they're in this, they're picking up the nitroglycerin. They're carefully moving it from box to box. And then they say, okay, the trucks are full. We're going to go. And then who are they fighting? They fight somebody.
Well, they get pulled over because they were like, hey, before we get to the fight, which gets to my annoyance getting with one character turn up to 11, they end up getting pulled over, and so they can check the trucks and stuff like that. Remember
on the way out of the city. So they get, that's right. So that's another scene that drove me nuts because those kinds of scenes, you have to have the characters do something to get out of the situation, but they don't. It just gets resolved by the guard going, all right, well, next time, make sure you have the paperwork right. And then they're sent on their way. And it's like, that's not a, like,
and then it cuts to the security guard inside taped up. And I'm like, did we miss a scene?
I literally said, oh, he's taped up. So that's right. That's what it was. And
I was like, wait, I had to rewind it. I was like, wait,
yeah,
I know I'm tired from working hard at work. Yeah, I'm trying to enjoy this. I'm trying. But what the fuck happened? I rewinded. I'm like, oh, we just scene transition. Some security guards tied up.
I didn't even care. I didn't even know that they had to steal the nitroglycerin.
Right.
I didn't know that was going to be like a heist. So I was really confused. And same thing. Like,
yeah.
And I know I've talked to you about this before. I feel like when a movie doesn't work for me, I don't remember it. Like, I don't remember connective tissue and things. I just watched this last night, and I'm already like, I don't remember who they were fighting. And it's not because I wasn't paying attention. I was paying very close attention.
Bro, I watched this today. A couple of hours ago. All right. So anyway, security guard, one of the minions that's been hanging out with them. Security guard breaks loose. They're already driving away. The security guard breaks loose, knocks one of we get this little scuffle with somebody we don't give shit about, and he accidentally drops a canister, which causes an explosion while they're leaving. And guess everyone's reaction from this giant explosion Behind everyone's reaction was like, "Oh,
Did you hear that?
oh well, that happened."
Well, it looks like a big fire explosion. Looks like that building wasn't there. Not to mention that guy. That guy was in there.
What
Whatever.
time? When is it? When's lunch?
Yeah.
Like, what? I'm like, oh my god, they're not acting at all. Like for a supposed action thriller,
Yeah.
they're
And I
not
don't
reacting at all to any of these goddamn explosions. Only in
I'm
the
not
beginning.
sure. Yeah.
That was the only reaction at the beginning of the movie.
I'm not
That
sure
was
they
it.
knew what was happening. I'm not sure the actors knew, oh, there was an explosion behind us. Or if they knew like, oh no, the building was destroyed.
But like
Because
this
like
huge
their
wave
reactions.
from the explosion happened, so there's no. They had to know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's the problem
Anyway,
with
Jesus
CG. That's
Christ.
the problem with CG. If you can't react to what's actually happening in front of you, or behind you, I guess, like you don't
Right.
know. Oh, it's
Anyway,
just insane.
another
Yeah,
lame, uninspired. There's the word.
yeah.
Another lame, uninspired action sequence. They get chased by vehicle with guy behind with gun.
Hmm.
And then they try to do something a little spicy. They're like,
Hmm.
well, we got to do something a little fancy.
Yeah.
But
This
that's
guy didn't bleach his hair for nothing. Let him shoot outside the car.
now this looks like a cool shot, right? This
Uh
brings
huh.
me and Billy to the dance. We're like,
Uh huh.
oh shit, yeah, let's fucking go. And he leaned outside of the car and shot gun back at car following with guy in the back with gun.
Yeah.
That's it. Nothing else happened. I think one of the motorcycle guys gets it and falls
Well,
over.
yeah.
But we didn't even get a
Which
cool crash, like bike flying in the air,
he just
like
fell.
just so yeah.
He just fell
He
over.
didn't get
Which
he didn't get ran over
no,
afterwards.
and it begs the question: why are there motorcycles with them? They're obviously just like cannon fodder. They're just gonna get shot and fall over. There's no protections. Like
I guess because the movie needs cannon fodder.
I guess, yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
They need some. You got to
anyway,
have some red shirts if you want a bunch of people killed.
I guess. But like make the red shirt kills memorable.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, so anyway. So anyway, Robert Diesel and friends, they get pulled over by obviously, they even call it out like, "Hey, there's no military out here. These
Right.
guys are dressed in military gigs. There's something's fishy." They're like, "Oh, let me see your papers, right? What's in the truck, huh? What's in the what you got in the truck, son? What you got in the truck?" And of course, he's like, "Oh, we just got medical supplies. Well, let me see. Let me go. Let me take a look." And then we get a little bit of pushback. Then things get tense. And then let me find this character. Let me try to find this character's name. I have no issues with any of the actors that's in this.
Jabril.
Jibril. Okay. All right. The character of Jibril. So while things get intense, right? Guns drawn, they're surrounded. All right. The leader of the bandits is talking shit. Things are getting really intense. All of a sudden, Jibril. Is it Jibril? You know what? I'm calling him Dumbass. All of a sudden, Dumbass,
I will know who you mean. Yep.
Dumbass is in the car and he goes, I got this.
Yeah.
He's like, hold on a sec. I know exactly what to do. Hold on. I got this. So I got this. He gets out the car. Hey, hey, everyone. We are carrying medical supplies. Do you guys want to see all these innocent people die? Hundreds of thousands of innocent people are going to die. And he's holding up the medical sticker as if these guys give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot. For a second there, I was like, oh, all right, let's finally see. Because we see this guy earlier, he doesn't even have a line,
Nope.
like a line that means anything.
No.
And
He's
I was
just
like,
there.
okay, this would be kind of cool, right? Like our leading characters are having issues. Let's have the co-stars come up and like side characters like pull their worth or
Yeah.
whatever. And he gets out and starts immediately screaming, which makes everyone else freak out. All the bandits are like, what the they're all like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you yelling at? Nobody's telling us what to do. You don't give us orders. And then the leader of the bandit runs over there, and then it's just chaos. They start shooting each other. He gets shot. I was laughing my ass off. But I was like, at this point, I'm like, okay.
That was
CGI fire blast. No one gives a shit. No one's reacting. uninspired action, no suspense. Albin's trying. He's really trying. And then we get annoying characters. And then the female badass. You know, she's like, you know, the love interest, the love interest, the fuck buddy. I'm calling her fuck the love interest, the fuck buddy. All right. All right. She all of us, because that's her partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she flips the fuck out. And earlier she's like the badass. You know, she's like, you know, this is my hood, son.
Yeah.
I ain't scared of no bandits. I go out, they shoot at me all I want. This is how she talked and moved in the movie too, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, bandits come shoot at me. I don't give a fuck.
Spot on impression.
Spot on. Right? This is my hood, son. Word. Right? And then all of a sudden, she's like a bitch, like
yeah.
Now anyone now being upset her friend died, right? That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But you do realize you're surrounded by trigger happy bandits. It's time to stop screaming and yelling and constantly trying to run back to your friend when he's clearly dead.
Yeah.
You are standing next to trucks that will explode.
Yeah. That is the thing. So yeah, this scene is where I was just like, okay, no, it's never gonna right itself. It's just lackluster, super lazy, and just medium. That's why I'm okay shitting on so much. But like this scene, so with Dumbass,
yes,
when in the opening scene, he's in the car with Fuck Buddy. And they're driving away, and I'm like, all right, these are the two main characters. We're gonna be on with them, whatever. When they get back to safety, and you're starting to like piece together who the characters really are. She comes out and she's all business and like, oh, that was fine, whatever. I'm even used to that. He comes out and his little girl rushes up to him and he gives her a big hug. I was like, that dude's gonna die. 100% that dude's gonna die. And I don't think he's gonna be a character until he dies. And then so sure enough, in that moment, like you said, you think he's gonna like show his worth and really show like, oh, this is who the character is. This is how he gets us out of situations. It's like, no, he did the absolute dumbest thing for no reason and then just died. So what is the purpose of that? It's not to gain sympathy. He has a little girl. He's done nothing to the story. Like he's been nothing the whole time.
Yeah, we're not like, we don't even know his little girl's name. We don't even see his family again.
No, they don't mention it. He's
I forgot about that scene in the beginning. So yeah, great callback.
Yeah, as soon as she showed up, yeah, he's gonna die. 1000% he's dying. All we know about him is that he's a dad and he's her partner.
Yeah,
dead.
Yeah. God.
But it was weird.
She's talking shit throughout the movie too.
Yeah.
To like this dude who's all business.
Yeah.
And he's all like, she's all like, you know, because his partner ends up blowing up later, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
One of the positives, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I have a positive to say about the film.
Same. I know what you're talking about already.
Yeah,
we're very in tune with this one.
Yes. Yes. So, you know, she's like talking shit. She's like, she's like, why can't you show any emotion or something like that? You can't show emotion. Your friend just died or whatever. And he's like, I don't have time to show emotion. I don't have time to bury him or say a few words or do a funeral. We have explosives in the truck. Two trucks right next to us. People are hunting us. We're on a time schedule. I forgot to mention that earlier. We're on a time schedule. Whole bunch of people are going to die unless we don't have time. We got to keep moving forward. And she goes, well, you don't have to be an asshole. Great writing.
Yeah.
Yes. Make us love this character.
Yeah.
Yes, movie. You're doing a fantastic job.
Oh,
so anyway, I clocked it. I clocked it because I was so annoyed and checked out. About an hour, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was like an hour and 10 minutes in. I'm going to repeat that. An hour and 10 minutes in, I was like, all right. This is interesting now. But it's an hour and 10 minutes in. Okay? And that's when they get cut off by a sniper.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and it's just one sniper. And look how with really good directing, editing, and actual reactions from the actors, it only took one sniper to make a semi-suspenseful little action scene.
Mm-hmm.
And when they got to I think they got to the mines first, right? Was it the mines first?
I think one of the bikes blows up from the mine. Yeah.
Right. When they discover that, oh shit, because at first they're like, oh, like who's around us, right? They're like, oh shit, someone's shooting at us. But then they find out it's the mines.
Yeah.
Right. And then we have a little bit of brotherly bonding, a little.
Yeah.
They work together to try to map out where the mines are. And then they have the idea to go through the river and stuff like that. We finally get a little bit of suspense, finally, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, finally. And then it leads to the sniper. And it was just one sniper. But look how effective that was compared to the bullshit earlier. All of the
cars driving.
Yes.
Yeah.
One guy in truck shooting gun. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It was very well done.
And you know what, finally, the interesting thing, like, I think this is the best sequence in the whole movie. And the interesting thing about that is that this is the only sequence that's original to this movie. Everything else is in either the book or the first movie or Sorcerer. Right. Everything else is referenced except for the scene. And I agree, that's the best scene in the movie.
Right. We have the, getting it through the water sequence.
Oh God. I'll talk about that one when we get there. Yeah. But the sniper sequence in the mines, it's
good.
I was the same thing. I was like, okay, all right, I'm in suspense. Like, this is suspenseful now.
Right.
And then they take out the sniper, which is a little, it is a little undercut by how silly they kill the sniper, because they're shooting the grenades. The grenades are exploding. And then the sniper just goes, hey, and stands up and takes her hood off. And like, I don't know what she said.
Death to all of you, or something like that. I'm gonna kill you all.
You're gonna die. You're standing in the open. Bang, dead. She dies.
Why are you standing? That's the only reason she got killed.
Yeah, she was completely hidden. She was in a ghillie suit. Like, you could not see her.
She had the high ground. Sorry, I had to say.
And they hate sand.
Clearly, one of them blows up. I mean, that sand is deadly.
When that guy blew up, I was like, oh, cool. That was cool. Because you don't see. So I think I'm trying to remember the order that it all happened in. When the bald brother, Fred, stepped on a mine and just stands there, and you realize, like, oh shit, he stepped on a mine. And then they reenact Lethal Weapon 2 for a second, and they're like, we're going to put you that too, didn't you? Yeah.
Okay. Future filmmakers out there, never reference a better movie in your movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was an homage.
Yeah. It had to have been, because they did the count to 3 thing.
They did the countdown.
Like, wait, hold on. We're going to count to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, they had
Riggs pulling Murtaugh off the toilet, which is one of the most memorable scenes in Lethal Weapon 2. If you have not seen Lethal Weapon 2, it is fucking amazing, by the way.
Yeah. All the Lethal Weapons.
But I was just like, oh, that was sweet, but that was terrible at the same time.
Yeah, it was. I was like, why are they literally reenacting Lethal Weapon 2? That's very strange. And then they pull him off, and then oh, it's a dud mine. And I was like, actually, I kind of like that fake out. I like that. That was cool.
And then the sniper shoots at him.
Then the sniper shoots at him. So, like, the suspense, they didn't lower the suspense. And then they actually paid off the mine thing with a character who can literally only be described as hot black guy. He literally has no lines in the movie. I looked up the cast list earlier. His name is Alka. Character's name is Alka.
Yeah, shout out to Alka.
Alka.
Yeah, I don't know. I may be seeing it wrong, but
you might be. Yeah,
all I saw, right, you saw hot black guy. All I saw was ridiculously buff, chiseled guy walking around.
I say hot black guy because he's just standing in the corner.
Your handsome status is in question now?
I mean, game recognized game. Game recognized game. I think it's what it is.
But yeah, that guy's jacked.
He's so jacked. And, like, you could tell, going back to that first fight scene, you can tell that they know how to fight. I think is like, because they're doing proper technique and stuff, or from what I can tell, proper technique. It was just so undynamic. But his character literally says nothing the whole time. So I'm just waiting for him to die at some point, and then he just does randomly steps on a mine, boom, explodes,
Yeah,
and it's actually kind of a cool moment. But I was like, all right, well, there he goes, done. That
yeah,
we've lost nothing.
right. And the movie didn't give a shit either. The movie's
No,
like, all right, move on. Like, okay,
checking them off the list.
yeah, not even a reaction. Did they have a reaction from
Not
some
much.
of the actors going,
I think they were all like a little shell shocked from the sniper
"Oh,
anyway, so they
okay,
were all
okay."
just heightened. But yeah, it really there was no real
It'd
reaction.
be,
They never talked about him.
yeah,
They never said,
it,
"Wow, we should keep looking out for mines." They
it'd be
never said anything.
it'd be hilarious if he actually spoke and then died. Like, right,
Yeah.
he finally had a line. We're all clear. We're all clear. Boom. That's it, or something like that.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
god.
that's the one and only decent sequence, and we are being very generous.
Yeah.
But another positive, I'll throw, since we're talking about the positives right now, another positive is it looks like a movie.
Yeah. I think all things considered, it is actually well shot.
Yeah,
Like, and
cinematography is great.
cinematography is really good. Aside, like terrible CG fire aside, I
Right.
think there are some cool things. You know, going back, that still that you just showed, for some reason, did you notice this? They really love the gun stocks, the unfurling of the gun stocks, the whole movie. Every gun that has one of those, you see the character
Oh,
pulling
yeah.
out the gun stocks, including
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pistol, which
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen before.
It
Fun
it,
little piece of trivia,
it
but
would have been nice if they, did more of that. I think they were like, "Hey, this makes us look cool. Let's
yeah.
fucking let's do it. Yeah, let's like keep
Yeah,
the body count at a minimum there." But
yeah.
anyway, but
Super
I
creation.
mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Why do I see Dwayne the Rock Johnson now?
Oh
Vin Johnson.
he's
We,
just an amalgamation of all action stars.
Dwayne Diesel over here.
Yeah.
All right, now you can go ahead and talk about this sequence right here.
Yeah. Okay. So the one of the best scenes in the original movie, in the 1953 movie or 54 movie, was this oil pit. Basically, an oil pipeline had burst, and it caused this like river of oil that they had to get through. There was no way around it, and it was it's really deep, and they're like, well, we got to go through it now. It's only going to get deeper, and it's going to be impossible to cross. So they have to pull their truck through. They get stuck. They have to like tie a cable up to it, to the wheel, so that the wheel is pulling it up. But
Hmm.
it's you don't know if it's going to work. You don't know if the truck's going to tip over. You don't know what's happening. And what ends up happening is one guy is out in front leading the truck
This is
and
so
clearing
fucked up.
branches and stuff. It's so fucking crazy. But
So
he
fucked up.
falls. He gets his leg snared in something that's under the oil, and he's stuck. But they can't stop the truck because the truck will get stuck. So they keep going, and you just see what's going to happen. The guy's stuck in the oil. The truck's coming at him, and it's this really slow and process while they drive over his legs under
Yeah.
the oil, and
Slow.
it's horrifying and
Yeah.
awful. And like you see every excruciating moment of it.
And the guy
So
has to keep going.
and he has to
He
keep
can't
driving the truck.
stop.
He can't stop for him.
Well, he
And
knows he's running over the guy, but he
yeah, and he
can't
closes
stop.
his eyes and he's like going,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. It's terrifying, horrifying. It's like proper horror movie shit.
Yeah.
But one of the most memorable scenes. So when I saw the oil pit in this one, I was like, okay, cool. They're doing the oil pit. They'll do something fun with this. They're going to shock us right now. Finally, they're going to do something. And then they just go through it twice. They
Next
send
scene.
both trucks through it. They go through the oil and then they get to the other side. And I'm like, why
Next
in the
scene.
hell? Yeah. What, like, why would you do that? And so, yeah, they should throw a little twist afterward where Bleach Blonde betrays Baldy.
Did that make you laugh as well when he got
Yeah,
shot?
I was like, where the hell did that come from? Why are you doing that? You're going to take his share of the money? Like, what a weird choice. And then he just shoots him in the armored vest and leaves him.
But it
Oh,
was literally like, all right, we made it. Hey, boom. And
we
I was
made it.
laughing.
We did it. We only have a little bit of time. Bam, done. I'm
I was
going to take your
laughing
share.
and dead. Just
Yeah.
complete dead face watching this movie, dude. Like I felt nothing
Yeah.
watching this. And this movie,
They felt
especially,
nothing too.
yeah. And this movie really tried hard to make you have the feels, especially
Mhm.
later. And I'm just like, and in
Nah.
this.
Yeah.
In
Be
this.
done. Be done with
Yeah.
it now. Yeah, but it was sort of shocking to me, and it was that scene was just so emblematic of everything that they didn't do. It's just crazy. Like, why would you have that oil pit scene if you're not going to do anything with it? It's
Exactly.
not an obstacle. They just drive through an oil pit.
Right now, Billy, better sequence. Go. What's a better sequence right now, off the top of your head? Go.
That scene in That Thing You Do where they're not playing the music right and the drum set falls over. That's a more suspenseful scene than that.
Well, we just went way off the rails over there.
I was trying to think of a least suspenseful scene.
I got one, right?
Yes.
Guess what? They're stuck, right? They're stuck, and it's kind of similar to the original, stuck trying to get through, right?
Yeah.
Now the bandits attack.
Yes. Yeah.
Now they have a firefight. There wasn't a firefight. Yeah, which really, this movie really needed it.
Oh my God!
But
if there would have been
already better. This took me 4 seconds to come up with this.
Yeah.
How cool.
You meant pitch you another scene. I thought you meant name another scene in another movie that's better. That's more suspenseful. Yeah.
If you got one, go ahead. I mean, if you got one now.
Oh no, I'm sure. No, the bandits attacking. That's why you have bandits attack. That's why you have bandits lurking in the distance, so they could jump in at the worst moment.
Yes, and guess what? Guess what would happen during that scene? Suspense would happen.
Yeah. any sort of tension, any sort of suspense, like something. It's just unreal.
Yeah, but
it's unreal how much nothing was in it.
Yeah, the wages of nothing. So now let's talk about before the brother gets shot, Fred.
Yeah,
drop dead Fred. Pun intended.
Can you? By the way, can you hear my kids in the background?
It's fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Is it music or what is it?
Oh no, it's shrieking, crying.
Oh no!
Yeah,
you gotta go.
They're fine. No, they're fine. They're just pitching a fit. I could tell if they were.
Well, we're almost done. We're almost done.
Yeah.
Before we got to talk about the separation of the trucks. Then the brother. Yeah. Then the brother dies. Right. Yeah. And then another hilarious sequence happens right after with Blondie. You want to talk about that one? No.
Yeah.
The male Blondie.
Right. So, okay, Blondie, bleach blonde, betrays Fred, shoots him, leaves him to die, says, "I'm taking your money," and then drives the truck off by himself.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Out of nowhere, just decides he's going to pull a fast one. And then they do the ending of the original movie, which is he's driving and just loses control of the truck on the side of a cliff. And whoops, drives off and explodes on the cliffside.
Finn.
But they should have just put that there. If they would have ended it there, I would have been like, hey, cool. I see what you guys are doing.
Scored a point.
Yeah. But it's just another left turn after a left turn. So like he just suddenly becomes the bad guy. And again, it means nothing. It does nothing. It impacts nothing. He just blows up and dies. And it's inconsequential. He could have just as easily not turned on him and done that.
He had issues with the gear or something, and then
the gear shifter stuck and he lost focus, and then he just drives off a cliff.
And we get a beautiful CGI truck falling over,
but you know blowing up. What's interesting about it too, it might have been more impactful if he did not betray Fred and shoot him on the side of the road. Because he would have been a good guy, and it would have been like, oh, that sucks. Like, at least you would have had that kind of emotion or tie to it. But no, they just undercut all that by having him, bang, whoops, done. And it's literally within like 2 minutes. It's so quick after he betrays him that he just blows up and then he's out of the movie. It doesn't matter anything.
I still don't think we would have cared.
You're probably right about that. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
But no, better writing, that would have made more sense at least.
It just would have been something to feel.
So again, out of nowhere, out of absolutely nowhere, they arrive at the end, and now they only have one truck, and blonde business lady shows up, and they have Alex's family hostage, and they're like, hey Alex. This is how bad this movie is. Hey, Alex, what's up, man? Thanks for delivering the goods. But we're gonna kill your family unless you drive and kill yourself into the flames down there. Because I think I was so checking out, dude. Was it
Yeah.
mentioned earlier because they were taking too long to fix the problem that the chopper was canceled or something was
Yeah.
canceled,
They
and
just
then
said,
that's what made her go, "Hey, we plan B. You got to kill
yeah,
yourself."
there was
Something
something
like
that
that.
happened, like, there was some kind of little minor curveball, but it meant that they didn't have anyone to put the nitroglycerin into the fire.
Right. Right. That's right. That's
And
right.
so they were like, "You gotta do it at all costs." And so her answer is, take this guy's family hostage, put a gun to their head in front of him, and make him go drive the truck into the
This
into the fire.
this this felt like, all right, we ran out of time.
100%.
This
Yeah,
felt like
we
we
need
ran out of time,
more
we ran out of
twists.
money or something. We got to do something.
It's just such like a fart of an ending. Like it
I
doesn't
still don't even know the blonde lady's name.
Madam Oil.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, it works. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But
It's
I believed you for like a second. I'm like, sure.
Yeah, oh my god.
And
It's such an I was pretty checked out at that point. Like, it does not matter how this ends. It's going to be awful.
yeah,
And sure enough, it is.
and they tried to do before I'll rewind a little bit here. They tried to do like the original, and you have the scene where uh both brothers are because they find his body. Alex
Mhm.
finds Fred's body, and you have the scene where he's laying on him and they're driving in the truck, and they tried to do a little similarity there. But he gets out, talks to Madam it's like Madam Web.
Yeah.
Madam Oil. Madam Oil, and from a little sliver, you think the brother's dying, he's falling over, the other Fred, and he shoots the guy who has his family, Alex's family hostage, and then he shoots blonde lady.
Amazing accuracy from inside a
Yes.
truck while wounded. It's like 50 yards away. It's
And he's
so
dying.
far away. He's dying, bleeding
Yeah.
out, and he
Yeah.
manages with like a 9 millimeter, just boop, boop, two
This
perfect
movie
shots.
we're gonna wrap this up soon. This movie's starting to hurt to talk about now.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
anyway,
feel a little nauseous.
you're feeling a little nauseous. So anyway, the fucking he's with his Alex is with his family. Oh yay! Blonde fuck buddy runs up to Fred because she knows he's gonna sacrifice himself, and I'm like, what the fuck are you going to do? She's out there like, no, 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 you don't you do it, Fred? Don't you do it? And I'm like, what do you want him to do? This hundreds of thousands of villagers are gonna die. It's like, yeah, Alex's family's saved, but they're gonna die. Are you gonna get in the truck? I don't
Yeah.
think you are. So anyway, Fred slumps his way over and drives into the thing and blows up and kills himself and saves the day. And who gives a fuck?
It's such a
God.
also, it's like a self-sacrifice that is so wildly unnecessary. Like, if you need
Exactly.
we need to put this canister
Yeah.
into this fire,
Just
fucking throw it. Like, I don't know. Like,
Or-
try
or-
something.
or speed run the truck toward it and
Put
jump
a
out
brick on it.
and jump out and run back or something.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And like,
and they tried so hard to make this big dramatic moment. They're crying and the music, and I'm
yeah,
just like, and
I feel nothing. I feel nothing for you.
the
Just
wages
be
of
over.
nothing. The wages
And then
of
they
nothing.
did. They did it. They ended it for me, and I was still like, "Oh, it's done." That was it.
Oh,
It was, dude.
God.
I try to take it easy on movies a lot of the time,
Yes, you're
and
a
I
lot more
and I
forgiving than I am.
yeah, I know how hard it is to make movies,
Yeah,
and I know that not most movies are probably not what directors wanted in initially. They're making sacrifices the whole way, but every once in a while there's something that comes along that you're just like, oh, they started with nothing except for little pieces of what they
Yeah.
maybe wanted to do, and then they
Right.
just hit the gas pedal and went, and you can feel that the whole time. Nothing is crafted, nothing is like built up, and
Yeah.
it's all just like, it's a level of audacity in filmmaking that just really drives me crazy. Like, oh, you just thought we were gonna accept this as suspenseful or thrilling. Like, no, you
Right.
have to build that shit. You have to make it
Exactly.
happen. And it's just like they took little pieces of the original movie of Sorcerer and they like dropped them into places. Like I think that scene with her running up to the truck at the end begging him not to go was supposed to be, you know, reminiscent of the first one where she's begging the guy not to go off in the beginning, because it was kind of shot similarly, and there were just little echoes of the other movies, but they don't mean anything,
right?
and like I said in the beginning,
I still don't care. Even if it
no,
was
I
an
don't care
homage.
either. Yeah, like I don't care about like, oh, you did that from the first one. Oh, that's from Lethal Weapon 2. Like I don't care about that stuff. Tell me a story, make me feel something.
If you ever see me and Billy kind of harsh on a movie, it's because not so much that the movie's god awful. It's the worst movie ever. Because believe it or not, this is not. It's not the worst movie ever. But the reason why we bash it in a way, in our comedic way, is because we hate seeing wasted potential. It's wasted potential. I've said this on the channel before. Is so much more worse than a movie just being garbage.
Yeah,
And there's no redeeming value whatsoever. Sometimes it's like, well, hey, it's just bad, okay? Yeah, right. Sorry, right?
Sometimes it's a swing and a miss.
Yes, yeah. It's just, but when you have a budget, I mean, Albin's from the fucking Lost Bullet movies. I am screaming for Lost Bullet 3, even more so now after this shit.
Got to redeem himself.
Yeah, and I just like, you got talent in here. The way that cinematography is great. You had a budget. Yeah, CGI is not great. But it's the worst movies for me lately are the movies that give me no emotion.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
Again, even with a bad movie, I'll get angry or I'll be like laughing at it. Yeah. And I can get some kind of entertainment out of it. Like it's so bad, it's good, or it's so bad, it's just like unbelievable, fascinating bad at least.
Yeah.
When it's just nothing.
Yeah.
You can tell. Sometimes it's worse.
Yeah. You can tell it's just empty and hollow and inspired by nothing. Like,
yeah.
I God.
I could see people watching it and they'd be like, oh, it was all right. Like, I don't see people watching this hating it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it has its fans. Like, I can see people, good time waster. Oh, what's this? Wages of Fear. Oh, that was all right. A little action thriller. Oh, cool. Guy got his family back. Yay. The guy redeemed himself for putting his brother in prison, I guess. Yay. Villagers are saved. All right, next. So I could see people doing that. But again, you got two classics here, which we highly recommend over this.
100%. Like watch those two and then watch this one for fun after and see how little they did. Yeah.
See if you experience the same amount of pain. But again, if you're advertising yourself as an action movie.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that shot with him down there to the right. You got helicopters. Look at that. Looks like a straight up action extravaganza.
She knew. Look at her face in that. She looks bored as shit.
She's like, fuck. And Albin's down there is like, well, I told him I owed somebody a favor.
Yeah.
I owed someone a favor. All right, I'll show up. And the guy up at the top right is like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
But again, you got to bring the action. And as much as people, bash Michael Bay, and some of the criticism for Michael Bay is warranted, even though I do love The Rock and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You give us the Michael Bay over the top action shenanigans, bro. The fireworks coming out of explosions. Fuck it. Yeah. Huge body count. You got to give us something.
Yeah. Like I said, I was not opposed. I'm not a film snob by any stretch of the imagination. I love movies. And The Wages of Fear, my all-time favorite, so like it's kind of the holy grail for me. Right. But even with that, I was like ready to see an action thriller version of The Wages of Fear. Right. Cool, man. Like do that. Yeah. But they're taking source material that's like a dissection of masculinity and like in poverty and like American influence on other parts of the world, and then Sorcerer, which is like this morality tale and like these really interesting stories that have social implications and intelligently dissected, whatever. Anyway, movies with intelligence behind them, and then you do this thing, which is just absolutely nothing. It says nothing. It means nothing. You feel nothing, and you experience nothing. Like, it's really strange. Like,
Maybe
they
a little
literally,
pain. You experience a little pain.
yeah,
Only if you're fans of Sorcerer and Wages of Fear. If you're not, if you haven't seen those movies, you won't feel any pain watching this.
yeah, you're just gonna
Boredom
go,
maybe.
what is this? Yeah,
Yeah. And again, these are two movies that are not action movies. These are slow burn, suspenseful films.
yeah.
There's no action in them, but yet we remember them and made us feel when they ended. We were like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, I mean, think about, like, we were talking about that oil pit scene,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the first one, that bridge scene in the second one,
Dude, the
in
bridge
Sorcerer,
scene was
is so
nuts
scary. It's so
because it
scary.
was real. Because it
Yeah,
was fucking real.
yeah, and
It
then
wasn't
him
this horrible
carrying the
bad
box at the end.
CGI truck and a horrible bad CGI with the fucking CGI rain.
Yeah,
It was
and there were
fucking
bandits.
real.
There were bandits in Sorcerer, and it's scary because they show up right at the end,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
someone gets
yeah.
shot, and it's like, it heightens everything,
Yeah.
and so it's not a constant, "Oh, there's another bandit coming after us."
Yeah.
Oh, they killed
Yeah.
that guy on the
But
motorcycle.
the
Sorry, that guy.
same action scene
Yeah.
over and over again. So I guess that's it. Did we miss anything else before we rate this?
I don't know. Let me look through. I
Yeah,
think
look
I
through your
mentioned
notes.
everything. Yeah.
Did you mention Wages of Fear? The original's amazing. Did you mention that?
No, let me talk about it for like 25, 35 more minutes. Oh, you know what? There's one moment I want to point out that really made me laugh.
Oh, okay.
Right after Bleach Blonde betrays Fred
Yeah.
and shoots him and drives off with the car, he literally goes, ha 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 ha.
No,
And
there
has
you go.
the most cartoony evil laugh
There you
ever.
go. I'm sure, diehard fans of the original, if they went straight cartoon, if they went straight over the top, just popcorn movie now.
Yeah, do it.
Fine.
It'd be awesome.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, come on. They could have been. I got another right off the top of my head. Suspenseful scene for you right here. Here we go. They're getting chased. They're getting shot at with better action and chase sequences, right? And then fuck it. During that sequence, hey, where's our two leads? Where's Fred and the blonde lady? Oh, they're in the back fucking.
Yeah.
They're in the back fucking next to the explosives.
Hopefully they're being careful. There's not too much movement back
already
there.
a better scene.
Already, yeah. They should have just been banging the whole movie. That would have been.
They reference that's what they do.
Yeah.
But we don't have time to bang. We have time to bore.
Yep. There you go.
So unfortunately, this movie is this shot right here perfectly represents the film.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately a wet fart of an explosion here with fire.
Yeah.
And again, Billy knows from experience, and I know as well. Making a movie is extremely difficult, And again, we don't have issues with the stunt people, the people that bust their ass. It's the narrative we're talking about. The narrative, and we hate wasted potential. So
yeah.
Billy, do you mind rating this, or you're gonna pass on the rating?
Oh well, what am I?
I'm giving you a way out.
Like, let's see. Oh yeah, I'll take
C is average, but you can do plus and minuses here on the channel. What do you give it here? Fuck it, let's do what we normally do in the Movie Dojo podcast, or Movie Dojo episodes. You can rate the movie and you rate the action.
Ooh, okay.
Do that.
What
are you giving them? What are you giving the action?
The action, maybe a C minus.
Okay.
I feel like there were some things where I was like, this is cool action.
Okay.
Albeit repetitive, whatever.
Right. Okay.
But that first fight scene is just so it's literally just like slap fighting, and then they throw somebody down.
You want to hear something funny? Hold on.
Yeah.
My better half. What's up, baby? Hi. She's over here doing the thing here. She's busy. My better half I was already started watching the movie, and so Lady Fat Blood sat down. And she's on her phone and doing stuff. She looked up right at that moment with that opening fight, and then she did this. You ready? Because I'm sitting over here I'm sitting over here watching TV, and she's sitting here watching it on her phone. She looks up, she starts watching the fight, and this is what she does. She goes, and I'm like, I didn't make the movie. What are you looking at me like that for?
Why you're watching this drivel? That's hilarious.
Yeah, she instantly knew something was not right when she watched that fight.
Let's see.
Back to the rating.
C minus action.
C minus for the action. What are you giving the movie? A+.
Well, I considered an A+. Sarcastically, I would. You know what? Like, I gotta say F, man. I gotta say F because it's the whole time undercutting itself, and that's the thing for me that just completely. Why did you do this? Like, I kept asking myself the question, why did you guys do this? You weren't inspired by it. You don't want to do anything. Like, why did you do this? I have no idea. Yeah. So I gotta say F, man. Yeah. I don't do it. I don't do it lightly.
Right.
But
yeah. And sometimes it hurts, you being a filmmaker. It hurts. You just
it hurts because I know how fucking hard it is. But this, I will tell you, when I went to go make Bone Cold, that was my first movie. I was like funding it myself. It's really small, and the one thing I said I wanted to do, or rather that I didn't want to do, was make a movie that was about nothing, that felt nothing, like an audience would feel nothing, and that people would forget about immediately. Those were that was my bottom baseline, and I feel like this is all of those things.
Yeah,
we're already forgetting it, and we watched it mere hours ago.
Oh, so I'm giving Lost Bullet 3 an A+. I'm the same. I'm right there with you, brother. Action C-, and F. Yeah, goddamn.
I was trying to find reasons to not give it an F, but
it also hurts a little extra too, because, and it's disappointing when we are like, okay, let's accept this movie on its own terms.
Yeah.
And forget the expectations. Let's just, all right, let's go, movie. Show, entertain me. And wow.
Painful.
Well, that is it. That's right. We are done. We have wrapped it up. We have rated it. This some of a bitch. The wages. I can't even talk right now. The wages of farts. The wages of nothing.
Wages of clear.
The wages of clear.
Oh God.
Oh, well, it's always a blast having you here, brother. Thank you so much for hanging out with your boy here. This is what we love doing, talking movies. And we disagree sometimes. It's okay. We agree to disagree, and we're still buds. I don't know if you knew that was possible, Billy. Did you know that?
That you can actually disagree with people?
You actually agree to disagree with someone and still be friends.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody in the entire world knew that you could do that. Yeah.
I mean, they're going to learn it right here, except not on this, maybe not right here, because I feel like I knew when I watched this, I was like, oh yeah, we're going to agree on this one. I'm pretty sure.
I'm changing my mind.
Yeah.
Right? I'm disappointed. I thought Billy was going to give this an F-. Block! You're a block, sir. That's it. Watch Righting Wrongs instead. You'll hate the ending, but you'll love the movie.
Awesome. I'm excited to watch that, actually.
At least you'll remember the ending.
Yeah.
Were there any other, besides the original and Sorcerer, any other similar movies you could recommend? That's better than this?
I'm thinking of just stuff in the desert. You remember Three Kings was one that I remember. That's sort of like a heist.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously very, very different, but that movie has some really cool suspense, really good fight scenes, and suspenseful action.
I've only seen that movie once, but I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, it's really fun and funny. And
I remember Ice Cube putting a bomb on a football and throwing it at a helicopter. Did that actually happen?
Bomb on a football, yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that happened.
I might be confusing movies, but I thought that happened. But let me know in the comments if you guys seen that. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. We got to wrap it up. This guy's a family man. He's got daddy daycare.
I feel like I got about 2 minutes before one of these kids charges into the room back here.
Are they have spiked bats right now? They got
A
spiked
hundred-
bats. They're just
100%.
waiting for you to walk
That's
in.
what they've been building the whole time that we've been in here. They're just like, we're just waiting for him to come out. If he doesn't make my mac and cheese the way I like it, he's gonna get Negan'd right here.
That's it. But it's always a blast, brother. Thanks again. We'll see you on the next one. All you badasses
Sounds good,
watching, though, thanks again for hanging out with us. And you know, sometimes these videos are long, but they're fun. Put them on the background while you're doing stuff, while you're driving, or just watch us knuckleheads be knuckleheads. But yeah, let us know in the comments below what you honest thoughts, even if you loved the wages of fuckery. Let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. You hated it, you loved it, you don't remember it. Let us know. And don't forget to follow this man. Links are in the description box below. Follow Billy on his filmmaking journey. Bone Colds, what's the dates again?
May 15th, we're doing the screening in Bangor, Maine. If you want to trek all the way up to the Northeast, that's where we're going to be. The land of Stephen King.
Might be some Maine viewers that are watching right now that don't know this is going on. So,
Yeah.
hey, you never know.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much. And hey, keep watching movies, keep enjoying them. Even if you can. If you can. And we'll see you badasses on the next one. Take care, everyone.